Did you know that some royal observers believe King Charles's reign might already be overshadowed by Prince William and Kate Middleton's growing influence? Today, we're diving deep into the unfolding tensions within the royal family, exploring subtle gestures, surprising omissions, and an emerging power dynamic that could redefine the monarchy's future. Over the past several months, every public appearance, every greeting, and every social media post has been dissected for hidden meaning, pointing to a larger story about what's really happening behind the palace walls. Is King Charles truly in control, or is the monarchy shifting under his feet? As you listen to these revelations and piece together the details, ask yourself this. If even the smallest royal slight can send waves through public perception, what do these larger actions say about who really holds the reins of power? For decades, Charles prepared for the throne, honing an image of gravitas and decorum. Yet even in formal settings, he's shown open warmth toward Prince William while offering Kate a more distant greeting. At one Commonwealth Day service, the moment Charles turned to Kate with only a polite smile drew attention. On its own, it might seem trivial, but in a monarchy built on symbolism, people noticed the difference. Was he merely upholding protocol, or is there a subtle chill between the new monarch and the future Queen Consort? Then came a puzzling omission on International Women's Day. The palace highlighted influential royal women, Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Camilla, Princess Anne, and the Duchess of Edinburgh, but did not mention Kate. Almost instantly, social media erupted with questions. Was this an accidental oversight, or a deliberate signal that Kate's star power poses a challenge to Charles's authority? The official response was muted, yet the omission loomed large. Some interpreted it as a message. While Kate may be beloved by the public, the king dictates how recognition is bestowed. Kate's standing soared the moment she became Princess of Wales, echoing the role once held by Diana. People see Kate as relatable, warm, and deeply committed to her causes, evoking memories of the late princess's empathy. For William and Kate, this popularity is a blessing. Polls show them frequently outpacing Charles and Camilla, but that same adoration can become a burden for the king. After all, he spent decades trying to rehabilitate his image following difficult chapters with Diana. Now, as Kate steps into the limelight, the attention on him risks fading by comparison. A monarchy often hinges on the sovereign's aura, and when that spotlight falls elsewhere, questions arise about where real influence lies. Meanwhile, supporters of Charles argue that centuries of tradition and responsibility set him apart from the younger royals. They emphasize his deep commitment to causes like the environment, which he championed long before they were widely embraced. Yet, even they admit William and Kate's magnetic connection with a modern, media-savvy public is hard to ignore. Each social media post, each heartfelt initiative, furthers the notion that the couple represents the future far more vividly than the newly crowned king. Some royal watchers see the subtle distancing from Kate as a means of reminding the public, especially the global audience, that Charles still occupies the throne. Tensions came to a head when Kate's cancer diagnosis went public. The wave of sympathy and heartfelt concern poured almost exclusively toward her. Though Charles was quick to offer supportive words, it was Kate people rallied around. In that moment, she became the undeniable center of royal empathy. If there's one outcome that signals a new emotional core in the monarchy, this was it. William and Kate had already been lauded for their modern approach, and now her personal battle humanized them further, making them more relatable than ever. For Charles, the realization that public goodwill can coalesce around someone other than the sovereign was a stark reminder of how precarious his standing might be. Royal confrontations rarely surface in public, but insiders noted a moment at an official gathering where William subtly called out what he saw as repeated slights toward Kate. Charles reportedly dismissed these concerns, reinforcing William's sense that more assertive action was required. Soon after, William and Kate made a concise but powerful statement. They would shape their own path in the monarchy, ensuring Kate's contributions weren't overshadowed. That was a bold move in an institution governed by deference. In taking this stand, William and Kate effectively signaled to Charles that they won't remain silent when their position or goals are compromised. This drama called to mind the moment Queen Elizabeth's will was read. Surprisingly, it was Prince Andrew, not Charles, who shared her final directives. An even bigger twist, certain key estates and heirlooms that might have gone directly to Charles were earmarked elsewhere. The crown jewel of these surprises was the Vladimir tiara, bequeathed specifically to Kate. In that gesture, many saw a deliberate endorsement of Kate's role in the future monarchy. Charles kept his composure, but those present sensed his dismay. If Elizabeth was subtly steering the monarchy's direction, even in her absence, perhaps that direction veered more towards William and Kate than he had expected. This underlines the monarchy's fragility at a pivotal juncture. Charles, long aware his reign would be shorter than his mother's, never anticipated feeling overshadowed so soon. Many consider William and Kate to be the faces of a modern institution, amiable, family-focused, and transparent in their charitable endeavors. The couple's vow to protect Prince George from the strict constraints they faced is another telling sign. Conventionally, an heir's path is dictated early, with each step preparing them to rule. William and Kate, however, have declared that George's role will be shaped with his well-being foremost. They insist Charles must get their approval before involving George in major ceremonies. It's a surprising demand that breaks from the notion that the king decides everything about royal upbringing. Older royals might argue that continuity, anchored in protocol, is the monarchy's lifeblood. But William lived through the turmoil of Diana's funeral procession, walking behind her coffin as cameras flashed worldwide. Kate faced immense scrutiny when she first entered the royal circle. Both are determined to spare George that unrelenting spotlight for as long as possible. Charles's reaction was outward calm, but some suspect he sees this as potentially undercutting his authority. Others suggest he may even respect their determination but worries about precedent. If tradition can be bent now, how flexible can the monarchy remain before it risks losing its very identity? Health concerns intensify the stakes. Charles, though generally active, is not immune to speculation about potential ailments. Kate's own treatment demands time away from public engagements, stirring concern for the monarchy's star figure. William, positioned between a father who might require more rest and a wife battling illness, shoulders unprecedented burdens. This personal dimension frames the decisions around George's role with added urgency. If both Charles and Kate find themselves limited by health, William needs to ensure stability within the family. Protecting George's childhood may also be a strategic move, keeping the monarchy grounded in empathy and modern family values. Palace advisors remain split on how to proceed. Some laud William and Kate's fresh approach, saying it resonates with a Britain that favors openness and authenticity. Others caution that stepping away from tradition erodes the mystique sustaining the monarchy. After all, part of the royal allure lies in its ceremonial continuity. If heirs become indistinguishable from ordinary citizens, what sets the monarchy apart? This debate isn't just theoretical. It directly impacts how the monarchy endures in a rapidly changing society. Meanwhile, the nature of Charles's relationship with Kate is in question. Early in her marriage to William, Kate appeared to share a supportive rapport with Charles, sometimes chatting with him at royal engagements. In recent times, though, subtle snubs such as her omission on Women's Day paint a different picture. Is Charles cautious about her influence, or are these tensions a product of a new king asserting protocol? Observers recall how Camilla's acceptance evolved over years of measured public appearances, never overshadowing the Queen. Some wonder if Charles thinks Kate's escalating star power could outshine both him and Camilla. In past centuries, a monarch might have resolved such tensions by controlling titles or royal finances. But in a world of 24/7 media, such heavy-handed tactics would likely backfire. Public sympathy lies firmly with William and Kate, as the couple embodies a more relatable approach. Critics of Charles warn that any perceived ill treatment of Kate, especially amid her health struggles, could spark immense backlash. Memories of Diana's tragic end and the furious public outcry still linger. William and Kate continue balancing their duties and private life with deft skill. Even as Kate undergoes treatment, she remains a symbol of composure and kindness, earning admiration from millions. Whenever they make a public appearance, they're greeted by eager crowds seeking a new, modern face of monarchy. In contrast, Charles's engagements can feel more formal, emphasizing tradition over innovation. This unavoidable comparison shapes how the public perceives his reign, strengthening the idea that he might be only a caretaker king, bridging Queen Elizabeth's majestic era and William's inevitable ascendancy. At the heart of it lies the question: how does Charles secure his legacy if William and Kate increasingly take center stage? His supporters say it's too early to discount him. After all, Queen Elizabeth reigned for 70 years, leaving an indelible mark. Charles has championed social and environmental causes for decades, and now that he's king, he could shape policy discussions in ways that leave a profound imprint. Yet, every time a new poll emerges praising William and Kate's modern monarchy, the king's own narrative is overshadowed. Stories about his achievements often give way to updates on the princess's health or glimpses of William and Kate's family life. William and Kate's stance on Prince George underscores that they won't shy away from redefining royal norms. By specifying that George will not be thrust into unrelenting public responsibilities without parental approval, they challenge the very foundation of monarchical upbringing. Whether this approach ultimately strengthens or weakens the crown remains up for debate. It could usher in a fresh era in which heirs have space to develop without tabloid frenzy. Alternatively, critics fear the monarchy could lose the mystique that keeps public fascination alive. Camilla also factors into this changing landscape. Once vilified, she has navigated a slow journey to broader acceptance. Now, as Queen Consort, her advice to Charles might be pivotal. Is she encouraging a conciliatory stance with William and Kate, or does she urge the king to safeguard the strict hierarchy that once marginalized her? Her personal experiences could make her sympathetic to Kate, yet the monarchy's complexities often defy simple guesses about where loyalties lie. In the end, every small sign, a missing mention in a royal tribute, a lukewarm greeting, a limited public role for Prince George, adds to the overall puzzle. The monarchy has always walked a line between majestic tradition and adaptation to modern sentiments. Too much change risks eroding the awe that keeps the institution relevant. Too little, and it grows stale in the eyes of a younger population. King Charles, William, and Kate now find themselves at the center of that balancing act, each with their own priorities and visions for what the monarchy can become. The world watches, fascinated. Royal family drama has never been purely private. It unfolds on an international stage, shaped by public opinion at every turn. Charles must decide whether to firmly assert tradition or embrace the changes championed by the younger generation. William and Kate, buoyed by popularity, can keep pushing modern values while still respecting select customs. Yet the real test comes when compromises falter. Will the monarchy unite in a shared vision, or will deeper rifts form? In this story of power, loyalty, and expectation, nothing is static for long. The king's health, Kate's recovery, the public's shifting mood, any of these factors could tilt the balance of influence. Still, one thing is certain. The monarchy's future isn't solely in Charles's hands. The days of unquestioned hierarchy are waning. With each step forward, William and Kate show their willingness to reshape tradition for their children and for the realm they'll one day lead. Thank you for joining me in this look at King Charles, Prince William, and Kate Middleton's unfolding power dynamic. What do you think? Should Charles protect the monarchy's centuries-old traditions, or should he embrace the changes William and Kate represent? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions help keep this conversation alive. And if you found these insights intriguing, feel free to share this video with friends who follow the royals and subscribe for more updates. Your voice matters, and I can't wait to hear where you stand on this evolving royal chapter.